What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Today I'm coming at you with an exercise recommendation video. It's going to be about the cable Pelican curl. For those of you that don't know what a Pelican curl is, it is essentially a body weight curl done either with gymnastics rings or with a bar behind your back when you're hanging off of it, or holding on it, I should say. The cable Pelican curl is essentially the same movement pattern, but done in a more scalable fashion so that you can progressively overload to be able to get to the point that you can do one rep of those. The reason why you'd want to incorporate an exercise like this is because the cable Pelican curl is incredibly hard. You want to compare it in terms of difficulty to something like a Nordic curl, wherein if you can do literally one rep, you are considered to be a very advanced person in that particular body part. So that's kind of the level of difficulty we're talking about when we're talking about something like a cable Pelican curl. It is a very hard exercise. It's a very high barrier for entry, and a lot of you, or I should say just pretty much all of you watching this video, are not going to be able to do it because I doubt any one of you are a calisthenics freak, and if you are, please comment in the comment section down below and give us some tips, buddy. So the cable Pelican curl, right? Got some key points written down here. I don't see anybody doing it. Aside from me in the gym, I don't think I've ever seen anybody perform this exercise, and I've had multiple people now come up to me and ask me why I do them, and kind of what my mentality is behind the form and all that. And so I wrote down some key points about it, and by all means, take everything by a grain of salt. This is something that helped me. I had a little bit of a bicep plateau back in like 2022, and it really helped me get from like that 15.5 to 16-inch range to that 16.5 to 17-inch arm range, and so maybe it'll help you do the same. So with the cable Pelican curl, obviously the main benefit is that you are able to get a gigantic stretch on your bicep. If you set the cable height all the way to the top and use the short D handles, all you have to do is essentially hinge at the hips and wedge yourself forward in a staggered stance and allow your shoulders to kind of obviously stretch back as well. You're going to need a decent bit of shoulder mobility for this, by the way, so stretch that area out and make sure your mobility is good before performing the lift. Now, being in that position is going to allow that, like I said, huge stretch on the bicep, and then now that you have that gigantic stretch, with the cable machine, you also have the power to completely control the weight that the bicep is under, right? So whereas with the cable Pelican curl, it's going to be a percentage of your body weight depending on how parallel you are to the ground. With this, it's going to be whatever you set the pin to, making progressive overload completely much easier to control and just completely under your control in general. Whereas with a Pelican curl, if you were to do that, you are not going to be able to properly be in the same position every single time, or at least not 100% the same position. You might think it's the same position and you get an extra rep, but in reality, maybe you were just a little more upright than the last time, and you're just going to keep, playing with variables that are like up in the air. Whereas with this, every single time you can write down your reps, you can write down the weight on there, and everything along those lines. So that's already a massive benefit for why this is a great way to build your biceps, but then also carry over to the actual Pelican curl where eventually you'll be able to actually do a single full body weight rep with the calisthenics version, either off gymnastics rings or a bar. The movement itself, because of the position it wedges you into, is going to increase your shoulder mobility. So if shoulder mobility is something that you struggle with, this is actually a great way to actively stretch that area while doing a hypertrophy movement as well. So you kill two birds with one stone. So if you have like a tight anterior delt and tight shoulders in general, this could be a great way to build up that mobility in the area while building up strength simultaneously. Now, another great thing about it is because you are in that deep stretch position and putting all that tension on your biceps like that, you're going to be strengthening the biceps tendon, right? So tendon resilience is a very underrated factor when it comes to bodybuilding, when it comes to strength progression and everything along those lines. So this is always a massive benefit, and getting a stronger bicep tendon in general is going to make it so that your progression in the future is seamless and you don't hit any plateaus due to injuries and things along those lines. So that's another massive benefit, and it's going to build up your capacity for the Pelican curl, obviously, and then it's going to allow you to have seamless micro-loading. And to me, this is the biggest benefit, right? With a stretch-based movement, especially for the biceps, something that's this isolatory in nature, being able to microload is massive, right? So the cable pin allows you to kind of, add extra weight to it, and the cable stack itself is going to give you so much weight progression, all the way up to 100 or more pounds in most cases, that you'll pretty much be able to use this movement, forever, and then you're never going to be able to max it out. At least I would imagine not, unless you're some, monstrosity that you're out here doing, friggin' 100 pounds each side in such a stretch and insane position. But let me not get off track. What's also great about it is that you can get micro plates, right? If you buy a pair of micro plates, I highly recommend that you do for moments like this. You can literally increase the weight by 1.5 pounds on the stack by putting the pin through the little plate and then just attaching it, something that I would do so that the progressive overload is seamless. For movements like this, jumps of 2.5 pounds to 5 pounds can be jarring there, because the movement starts in such a disadvantageous position that just that increase in weight could be a lot, and actually drop off your reps like crazy, and then you might not be prepared, and it's too big of a change too quickly. So this allows for a seamless progression where your connective tissue can also keep up with your muscular growth and strength growth. And so you can, most definitely go 1 week doing, 10 pounds, right, for like 12 reps, and then 11.5 pounds the next week for the same amount of reps, and keep progressing like that until reps become an issue, and then you can add reps, and then you do double progression and things along those lines. So that's another great reason for why you can incorporate this movement, or should incorporate this movement, and see great progression and great, overall growth and size in your biceps, and who doesn't want that? The cool thing about it as well is it can be done bilaterally or unilaterally. Sorry. It's up to your preference, obviously. I always do it bilaterally personally, just because in terms of strength, there's really no big difference between one side or the other. But I do it unilaterally sometimes as well if I have the time. For me, it's mainly a matter of saving on time. So if you have the time, I do recommend doing it unilaterally, just because you're able to really focus on that one bicep throughout the entire set. And I do think you are able to get more high quality work out of it due to that. But if, again, time is a problem or it's too inconvenient, then obviously bilateral is always an option for you. But you do have an option, which is cool. This movement also provides a crazy stretch, making it lengthen biased, while also providing more smooth tension than the free weighted version. For this variant, the equivalent would be something like an incline curl, right? In the incline curl, obviously, it's a lengthen bias movement as well, but you go from having a lot of tension in the bottom, a little bit of tension in the mid-range, to almost no tension at the top. Whereas with this, because the cable is set to the top, right, at the highest setting, and you wedge your torso forward into that angle, you have a constant tension throughout the entire portion, but there's a biasing effect at the lengthened position as well. So you get the lengthened position bias, and then also a constant tension throughout the rest of the range of motion, giving you a little more bang for your buck, and a smoother progression, which is a smoother progression in range of motion and tension, which is going to be easier on your joints and your ligaments. So overall, over time, this is going to provide or less of a nagging pain and chronic injury issue than something like incline curl might end up giving you, or you might experience with an incline curl. This movement has helped me, again, beat a bicep plateau, and allowed me to get from 16-inch arms to that 17-inch barrier. And now I'm also still using it to this day. I've gotten to the point that I can rep out 40 pounds on each side, which isn't necessarily like crazy strength, but for the position that it puts your biceps in, and it's actually pretty solid, and the combined weight of that is 80, which soon enough I might even be able to do just an outright Pelican curl, which that would be awesome. And by the time that you get to that point, I mean, you're gonna have some pretty sick biceps. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be pretty much it for this video. Again, this is the cable Pelican curl. I don't know if that's necessarily an established movement or it's something that people already do. Again, it's just something that I've only ever seen myself do, and people have asked me questions on multiple occasions about it now. And so I thought I'd make a video breaking down why I do it and why I recommend that some of you do it if it is something that is piquing your interest, if you want big biceps and you want a new weapon in your repertoire, here you go. The cable Pelican curl is a great addition that you should most definitely try out and see if it's a good fit for you. That being said, if you found this video informational, if you found it valuable in any sense, please go ahead and share the video. Let show other people who want to get big arms, get jacked and stacked. And then also, if you have any recommendations, if you have any feedback, if you have any sort of criticism at all, just let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, please subscribe, leave a like, all that good stuff. Thank you for your time, and you have a great rest of your day. And as always, boy!